This week joining us is Imam Abdullah Cheng. He is joining us from Taiwan. Now, this is a story about a young generation Muslim who grew up to be a computer scientist, got his computer science degree, thought he was going to join all the other tech industries that we all join in the corporate world, but instead decided to become an imam in Taiwan, one of the hottest bed states in the world today. In fact, arguably a state that could be determining our future. Trump's visit last couple months in China, they said that the entire time, all the Chinese were talking about and asking about were Taiwan. Not the Iran war, not the tariffs, not anything else, just Taiwan. It's the biggest deal for one of the biggest superpowers in the world, China. And I'm so curious because I never even thought of Islam in Taiwan. I never even considered it being there. So I guess my first question to you is, what's life like for a Muslim in Taiwan? And assalamu alaikum. Thank you for joining the show.
Walaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. It's a pleasure to be on the show. So, to answer your question, I think um, a lot of people actually don't even expect there to be, Muslims in Taiwan in the first place, right? But actually, um, it's true that we haven't really been in Taiwan for a long period of time, but actually there are quite many Muslims in Taiwan nowadays. According to the statistics, we have about 300,000 Muslims in Taiwan. Of course, I'm going to break it down for you. What are the population actually within these 300,000? But you can actually feel and you can actually witness within yourself as well when you actually visit Taiwan. You can see some of the women wearing hijab on the streets, and you are able to find halal restaurants. We do have masajid over here, so it's actually quite common, I would say, nowadays, even for the non-Muslims in Taiwan, to be able to actually speak to a Muslim, even though not necessarily a local Taiwanese Muslim, but they can actually see the Islamic elements, in their day-to-day life.
Subhanallah, 300,000 Muslims in Taiwan. How many Taiwanese people are there? What's the population?
Okay, so if we were to break it down, I think in among these 300,000, about 90% of them are Indonesians. Yeah, Indonesian workers, Indonesian caregivers. And the remaining, I would say 8%, 9% will be the other foreign Muslims. So Muslims coming from India and Pakistan, or maybe from Egypt, Morocco, and so on. And that remaining 1 to 2%, that would be the local Taiwanese Muslims. So
Hmm.
I would say maybe just a few thousand. Yeah, I would say the local Taiwanese Muslims would be about a few thousand. Yeah.
Interesting. And what's the relationship between the Indonesian minority and the Taiwanese people?
I would say this is actually very different to, how it is perceived. I mean, the foreign workers are perceived, for example, in the West, in the UK, or for example, or in the US, because Indonesian workers in Taiwan, they're a lot of them, they're working as caregivers, or maybe they're working in the hospitals to take care of the elders, to take care of the patients, and so on. So the Taiwanese society actually is quite reliant and dependent on these Indonesian workers. So it's not like it's not that they have really the ability or capacity to even say that we need to get these Indonesians out of our country, because if they do so,
Mm.
our whole society will collapse. Because almost almost all the families that do have, elders and patients, they would hire an Indonesian caregiver to take care of their elders. So if these people are gone, nobody would be there to actually take care of these elders. So that would create a chaos. So if, like, let's say today the Indonesian government decided to stop these Indonesian caregivers to come to Taiwan, then we'll be in big trouble. So it is something that um, we really rely a lot on them. Even our security, I mean, our national security depends on these Indonesian people. So generally speaking, um, people do have a positive, I would say, image about the Indonesians here. I mean, not necessarily the Muslims, but because the only time when they're actually being exposed to Muslims and Islam is through these Indonesian workers. So generally speaking, the Taiwanese society is quite friendly to the Muslims. I mean, we're kind of benefiting from this as well, but actually they're being friendly to the Indonesian workers in general. So
Mm,
alhamdulillah. I would say, when you look at the history of Islam in China, I mean, almost, ever since the time of Uthman ibn Affan radiallahu an, up until, I would say for the next 1300 years, I think the Islamic community in China has really demonstrated a good example of how the local culture has been integrated with the Islamic principles.
mm,
But I would say, when we look at the situation today in the last 50, 100 years, that situation kind of had changed a little bit. I mean, if we're talking about Taiwan, because Taiwan is a very relatively small island, I mean, it has been a little bit difficult for us here to be exposed to Islam. But in mainland China, I mean, people nowadays, they travel to China a lot. They should be able to see with their own eyes that actually, historically speaking, Islam has been quite dominant in China, and it has, shaped the history of China as well. It's just that somehow only in the past few years people start to realize that. I mean, this is for us, like we kind of know about this since our childhood. I mean, even though I'm not a Hui Muslim myself, but I do have Hui blood from my maternal grandfather. So he's the only Hui in our family. My grandparents are all reverts. My father is a revert. So I still do have some kind of connection to the Hui Muslims in mainland China. But I have to say, as somebody who has been leading in the dawah activities in Taiwan, we are highly affected by what's happening in China and what the Chinese government does to the Muslim communities. Because most of the time, whenever people are talking about how the Chinese government is treating the Muslims, people always bring up the Uyghur issue, and it is true that there are a lot of issues going on with the Chinese government, oppressing the Uyghurs and so on. But people actually don't realize that the Hui Muslims are being oppressed as well, just not physically or physically assaulting, but ideologically they are being oppressed. Oppressed in terms of their knowledge, in terms of education and academy, because all we can see nowadays on social media, like people will talk about the history of China, the culture in China, but it's more on the entertainment side, not really on how the deen has been preserved, not on how the scholars are spreading their knowledge and so on. Because if you ask people who are the main the well-known scholars in China right now that you can ask your questions to or you can seek knowledge from, even if you ask AI or Gemini or whatever, they will actually give you names that are either people who have already passed away or people who are not really scholars, but maybe people who are famous, who are Muslims and famous, but they're not really Islamic teachers or imams or scholars and so on. So that really affects us in Taiwan as well, because if we want to learn about Islam, of course, people are going to go to the internet. They're going to go and find some books and learn about it. But if we don't even have these resources in the first place, then how are people going to actually learn anything from us?
Assalamu alaikum. You've heard the lectures on riba. You know it's a problem, but no one's ever given us a solution. That's exactly why I'm partnering with Dr. Rami, a successful dental surgeon and the founder of My Debt Clinic. The Debt Clinic is removing hundreds of thousands of dollars of debt every single day and bringing debt relief to millions across the nation. Whether it's credit card debt, personal loans, or private student loan, the consultation is completely free, no upfront fees. And here's what I love about them. They don't just help individuals. They support masajid and humanitarian organizations in the United States and all across the world. This is a company that actually shares our values. Don't suffer in silence. There are brilliant Muslims out there trying to serve this ummah, and Dr. Rami is doing exactly that. So if you've been burdened by debt, then take the first step today. Visit mydebtclinic.com/Ansari and speak to a debt doctor. And when you reach out, let them know that Ansari sent you. Assalamu alaikum. And now a quick message from our sponsors. Provision Capital is a Sharia-compliant real estate firm built on trust, scale, and purpose, with investments in residential real estate all across the United States, and their focus is ethical investing. Provision Capital has a historical annual track record for the past 10 to 15 years. Visit provisioncapital.com and join over 400 investors nationwide to begin ethically investing your money today. Invest in Provision Capital today and invest in an ethical future. So what's the difference between a Hui and a Uyghur Muslim?
So ethnically, by blood, I would say they're just a different ethnicity, right? So the Hui Muslims, if you want to dig a bit deeper into the history, uh, I would say the origin is kind of a mixture between, the Arab and Persian traders and the local Han Chinese Muslims. So, for example, we would be considered as Han. The most of the Chinese people that you see in China, for example, they would be considered as the Han ethnicity. And Hui, basically, from their appearance, they look no different than any other Han. Even their language that they speak, their behaviors, it just looks like an average Chinese. It's just that people would identify, maybe, for example, by the white hat that they wear. They will know, oh, okay, this is a Hui Muslim. But as for the Uyghurs, they are almost like a completely different category of people. For example, I've lived even in terms of language, right? So I've lived in Turkey for 7 years. I've interacted with the Uyghurs, and I feel that I can almost communicate with them in the Uyghur language as well. They have their own language. They speak their own language. But the Hui, most of them, they just speak Mandarin Chinese, like any of us.
And where do the Hui live in China?
So there are many different cities that have a lot of Hui Muslim population. So if you go to the northwestern part of China, then there are very huge cities of Muslim population. And for example, in the south, there is the province of Yunnan, which is also a very, very large province that has a lot of Muslim population. And even in these international cities like Shanghai or Beijing, Guangzhou, Yiwu, these are international cities that also have a lot of foreigners and locals, but you will still see a lot of Hui Muslim population. So I would say they're almost everywhere. There are only a few provinces maybe don't have as many Hui Muslim
Right, but
population.
are there like
Yeah,
specific concentration points? Like what's the
mhm,
population of Muslims in China anyways?
yeah. I think it's estimated to be more than 20 few millions. They even have a city called Ningxia, which they call it the Little Mecca of
Hmm.
China, right? Because of the high population of the Muslims around there. So you can really feel that this is not like any other Chinese city over there. Like, you can find
Is there
halal food
like unique
everywhere.
food there? Do they make a different kind of cuisine than in regular Chinese districts?
Yeah, actually, I would say the cuisine of the Hui Muslims in China are quite famous, even among the non-Muslims. But I do have to say that even among the Islamophobes in China, they would also agree that the food of the Muslims are delicious. So, for example, there's a saying among some of the
Really?
Islamophobes in China. There's a saying. They say, 回回的饭可以吃，但回回的话不能听, which means that the food by the Huis, you can eat them, but what they say, the words that they say, you should not listen.
Hmm. Wow. It's that good, huh? What are they cooking up? What's kind of tell us a dish?
So if you actually visit China, then there's a dish that you have to try, which is the Lanzhou beef noodle, Lanzhou ramen, basically.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That is. I think you can even find them in the US as well. I think they're that famous.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But probably
and
the
for
authentic
example,
version's insane. I
way
think I've
more
seen a
authentic. Yeah,
video of this where someone's walked around like the streets of Hui, districts and
right.
tried their food, and it was like really, really incredible.
Yeah, for me personally, I really crave for that kind of food because honestly, when we look at the halal cuisines in Taiwan, of course we do have halal food, but and it's also very diverse. But one thing that we're missing is that we don't have as many local halal options as much as what they have in China. Because if you're living in Taiwan, you're not gonna starve from not having halal food. You're gonna find halal options, but it's just that you're still gonna eat butter chicken, biryani, kebab, shawarma. When tourists come to Taiwan, they do want to try. I mean, the Muslim tourists, when they come to Taiwan, they want to try some local halal food. But sadly, we don't have as many options right now. But hopefully, inshallah, we can have more in the future.
Hmm, interesting. Let me see. if I could find, I'm not gonna lie, man. I've been watching a lot of food travel vlogs lately. It's getting pretty
Yeah.
bad. Like I started off because I was joking around, like, "Oh, dude, look at this guy." I mean, are you serious? Like, I think his name's like Mike Mears or something, but he's cool, man. He goes around the world and he'll just take a bite into a sandwich, any food, right? And then he just immediately goes, mmm, yeah, he just loves it immediately, and it's such a vibe. It's such a vibe the way he um enjoys his food. Hold on, let me try to find it. So how would I spell Hui?
Hui.
Hui. Oh, immediately. Immediately food came
Yeah,
up.
you should be able to find a lot these days. I think in the past couple of years, there's a lot of contents about the halal food in China.
Yeah, let me share my screen. So curious to see this.
Now, you have to get meat from a place like this, but there's a catch. There's absolutely no pork.
Absolutely no pork. Wow.
Yeah, so you can see that a lot of even the non-Muslims there, they are enjoying the food, and they know that the Hui cuisine is actually very famous.
What is this right here? Do you
I
know it?
think this y- I have tried. Actually, ironically, I didn't try this in China. I tried it in Malaysia because nowadays there are more and more Hui Muslims who are moving to Malaysia and they're opening their restaurants over there. So I've tried it in Malaysia before.
Dude, that looks incredible. What is that? Oh, it just keeps getting better and better. Oh, it's the same thing.
Yeah. It is the same. So they're fried basically.
Halal beef burger. That's insane. Bro, I'm not gonna lie. Like Asian cuisine is top tier for me. Oh, look at that. Just a ginormous La ilaha illallah banner.
Yeah. Just a random drawing.
SubhanAllah. That's incredible, man. These are Hui Muslims right here.
Hui Muslims, right? You know, they have been historically assimilated well with local Chinese culture. I mean, that's what our predecessors have been doing. Like even though at the beginning they were foreigners, they were mixed Arab, Persian, and Chinese, but in terms of their culture, in terms of the books, the teachings, even the terms that they use to teach the Islamic concepts, they're using terms that the average Chinese people or the in the Confucianism culture, the terms that they use, we're using those terms in Chinese as well. So, for example, you will see that in Chinese, whenever we're describing certain terms that we use in our day-to-day life, we're using a completely different term in Chinese. Like, for example, when we say Allah, even the word Allah, we have a particular term for us Muslims to use. We use the term 真主, 真主meaning the true Lord. Yeah, so this is a very, very common way we use to describe the
Can you say it
Allah
again?
and 真主,
Jeju.
真主, yeah.
No, hold on. Let me make sure I'm hearing you because I'm hearing you through a headphone here from afar. Say that again.
Yeah, 真主,
Jeonju.
yeah,
Jeonju. Okay.
真主,
That's
yeah,
beautiful. Jeonju. Um,
yeah.
and how do you guys use this?
So we almost we use this interchangeably, like with Allah or 真主. So for example, in my khutbah, I always use the word 真主, like 真主至大, Allahu Akbar. And for example, when we say a mosque, a masjid, in Chinese, it's called 清真寺. And 清真 actually means halal as well. Like for example, when you're in China, if you want to look for these halal places, you will see two words, 清真, 清真, and it basically means like clean, pure, and authentic. So it has that meaning as well. So we're basically trying to find a word in Chinese, in Mandarin, to try to really represent this word in as close as possible.
Okay, so say Allahu Akbar in Chinese again.
真主至大.
Chenchu chita. Chita. Incredible. So, can you say Alhamdulillah in Chinese? In Mandarin?
感赞真主，感赞真主。
Danzan Chenchu.
Yeah.
Danzan Chenchu. Danzan Chenchu. I'm going to try to memorize that. Just in general, I'm so fast. Like, China's one of the top 5 on my bucket list of places to go. I'm just so fascinated by that area. I mean, there's no amount of American propaganda that can convince me that China is not a beautiful place and that the Chinese people are not a beautiful and highly sophisticated and capable people. I mean, their history proves it, and their technological innovations again and again throughout history prove it. So I mean, I love checking out places based off of history. Like, you'll never really catch me in the Bahamas unless it's like a free trip for some reason. But like, if I'm going somewhere, I'm going to, like, China, Italy, Spain, Morocco, Turkey, places with history in general. And that's just kind of how I am. So yeah, I'm so curious about that culture. I've even done an episode on Chinese medicine and its relation with Islamic medicine, and how, Muslims have learned from the Chinese so many things. Like, what do you think the future of China and Islam is? One thing that I think stands out to me as someone who I grew up in Maryland, in America, and there's actually a high Asian population here. And I've noticed that they usually kind of keep to themselves. It's very hard to integrate with, a Chinese group or a Korean group, actually, and there's not many Japanese in this area. Um, and so I always felt like they felt they were very different to everyone else. And it almost seems like the Chinese posture in general is we're just so different. Why, either how we look and how we talk and how we see the world is just so different than everyone else. And so everyone else sees them like that as well. So when you're saying, like, Muslims talk to the locals, integrate, you know, show what Islam's about, how do we do that? How do you see the future? How do you envision a future of Islam and China?
So, as I mentioned, our predecessors, the early Muslims in China, they have done an amazing job multiple times of kind of localizing Islam with the local culture. And what I believe is that we need to go through that again. Right now, what we have currently is not enough. We need to go through another process of localization, of bringing Islam into the local culture, into the local society. Because right now, Islam in China is almost considered as a faith that is only connected to certain specific ethnic groups in China. Because right now they are kind of propagating this idea that, we have a very diverse ethnicities of different cultures. There's the Han ethnic group, there's the Hui, we have the Uyghurs, we have the Salar, we have so many ethnic groups. Where China, we're so diverse. And they're almost like, attaching religion only to this specific group. So if you're a Han and then you're a Muslim, that's something very, very weird to them. They would say, like, why are you converting your ethnicity to the Hui ethnicity, right? Like, you're supposed to be a Han, which means that you're not supposed to be a Muslim, right? So we kind of need to break through that again. And obviously there's going to be a lot of work. And I think with the current system that the government is imposing on the Muslims, of course, I do believe that there is always ease in every hardship. And I can also see, even though, there's so much negativity going on there, but there's also a lot of hope and positivity that I see from the Chinese Muslims. Because when you are depriving them of the lack of Islamic knowledge, like when you're making it so hard for them to seek knowledge, their desire to seek knowledge becomes even stronger. And I can completely attest to that when I'm teaching, the classes to the Taiwanese Muslim audience and to the Chinese Muslim audience. Because for my new class on the fiqh of Salah, I try to convince as many people in Taiwan as possible, like in our community, to come and join the class, please. This is a very, very hard opportunity. You guys need to come and join. And I barely can have like 10 people to join me in the class physically. But when I created the group on WeChat in the Chinese WhatsApp, in 6 hours, I got 500 people flooding in. And they're not robots, like they're actual people who come and they want to actually learn. Because I've been uploading some of my lectures and videos before to some of these Chinese Muslim brothers and sisters, and they basically spread the videos on their own, like a a network. Like they don't have like a public YouTube channel or anything. They're literally just sharing these files, MP3 files, MP4 files, in their WeChat groups. And I could really see this desire, the burning desire that they want to seek knowledge. And I have met a couple of families, a mother who told me, I met them in Malaysia, and they're basically telling me that we love your lecture so much. I play your lectures like to my kids, and they love your lecture as well. Please do more of these lectures. Like we're taking notes, or we're trying to like learn from you. And they're calling me like a scholar, and I say no, I'm not a scholar. Like this is way above my pay grade. But they're saying that no, like for you, for us, you are like a scholar to us, because we don't have that many people that we can learn from, and people that we can actually relate to. So I can see a very, very genuine passion from our Muslim brothers and sisters in China, that they really appreciate and they understand the value of having these authentic Islamic knowledge. And
So
I think
what is it? Is it that
yeah.
you're recording these in Mandarin and directly targeting them?
At the very beginning, I wasn't actually targeting them, but I was speaking Mandarin in all of my lectures. My lecture, I just speak in Mandarin fully. So they basically don't have any barrier to understand what I'm saying. Even though at the very beginning, I didn't really target them, as my target audience. I was only focusing on our local community in Taiwan. But slowly, I start to shift my target audience to, the general Chinese-speaking world, because I just realized that, you can't find these kind of resources online. If you go to YouTube, you look for, Islamic talks in English, in Urdu, in Turkish, and French. You will be able to see a lot of Islamic speakers talking about, different kind of topics. But in Mandarin, a language that's spoken by a billion people, you're not able to find, these Islamic lectures spoken by Chinese Muslims. So I find that very, very unfortunate, but also at the same time a very, very big opportunity for us, a big responsibility for us as well. Because
Yeah, if someone wants to
yeah.
support you and support your work and your dawah there, where can they go?
Currently, I'm not doing any kind of fundraising yet. I don't think we kind of reached to that stage yet, but inshallah, very soon. I do have some kind of plans and projects. So if we were to have anything like that, I would definitely, post on my own social media, because, right now we're still using very, very primitive tools to create these contents, like with my own camera and camera stand and so on, to upload onto YouTube without any kind of editing. But soon, inshallah, we would have to start kind of raise our standards and kind of start to compete the narrative with non-Muslims, because
Oh, brother,
nowadays if the yeah.
I know a lot of rich guys that would love to put some money into what you're doing, because China's a superpower, man. It's the number one superpower in the world. It's not even like, no, it has the highest capacity of power in the world, which puts it at what America was before World War II, which means the manufacturing capacity it has, the worker force that it has, the money that it has, the intelligence that it has, and the assets. It has the capacity for power greater than any other nation. So that's number one, the capacity for power China's number one. And number two is the economy. China is number one in the world. And then number three, if we want to even get greedier, we could say geography. I mean, China's geography, massive, massive land, and lots of mountains, lots of different terrains and regions. In fact, most of Chinese warfare has been within the actual land of China today. So that's how massive it is, where they didn't even have to feel like, oh, we need to get out of this part of the world. Um, but yeah, so China's a superpower, and it's important for Muslims to strategize accordingly how we're going to be in relation to the Chinese moving forward. Whether it's on the global stage, how are we going to be in relation to them if the Chinese and, the French get into a quarrel? Who do we side with? Obviously, I think that's kind of like on a base for base strategy basis. Like I liked what you were saying earlier, that Muslims just need to be strategic. I actually have right here a famous Chinese book by Sun Tzu called The Art of
Oh,
War. It's all about
yes.
strategy, and I'm a guy all about strategy, and I try to teach as many people as I can about how to have a strategic mind, how to be able to say, well, let's just pin China up against Russia and the United States in order to balance out the world powers. It doesn't mean that China's evil and Russia's good and China's good, Russia's evil. Doesn't matter. We need to stop playing this good and evil games. People have watched too many movies. They think the world is heroes and villains, and it's not. A lot of heroes feel very villainy, and a lot of villains feel very hero-y. So neither is China the hero, neither is the United States the hero. You just gotta find a way to be able to be strategic. So my question to you, I feel like you've probably thought a lot about this. Like, how do Muslims prepare for China?
So I do think that even though most of the Chinese Muslims are within the land of China, but I do need to point out that there's also many Chinese Muslims who are outside of China as well. And many of them are also scholars, many of them are very knowledgeable. So I think one of the biggest challenges that we have been facing is that we're not really united enough. We're not really uniting or collecting the resource that we have together, because uh, even excluding the Chinese Muslims, the Hui Muslims, I mean, there are also many Chinese Muslims in Malaysia and in Singapore, and for example, in Hong Kong as well. And now we have in Taiwan. And actually, we have, of course, been doing more collaborations with each other. And actually, we do need to do more of this to actually tackle these problems. And I do think that in the end of the day, when we're doing the work of dawah, it has to be done by the locals rather than by the people who are outside of our community,
You know what
because
I
it's
think it is?
always more
Can I
effective.
cut you off, Imam Abdullah?
Yeah.
An interesting thing that could be happening here is, what if, Indonesian Muslims, Malaysian Muslims, Thai Muslims, any area in that, I think most Muslims are in the Asian Pacific kind of area, and if they started kind of migrating to China and becoming a minority, almost becoming the Irish, of the United States, or the Italian of the United States, maybe at first they're considered immigrants, at first they're not liked, but then slowly they become a part of the power apparatus, they become a part of the industry, and Muslims slowly start becoming a part of the Chinese superpower that doesn't seem to be going away.
I think that is what's already happening in Taiwan. I think, as I mentioned, of the problem with the low birth rate in Taiwan, like people nowadays don't want to get married. That's the first big problem. The second big problem is that even after they get married, they don't necessarily want to have a kid. But meanwhile, at the same time, the foreigners, and foreign workers in Taiwan, a lot of them, predominantly they're dominated by the Indonesians, and the Indonesians, of course, they always have children, right? So I think it's good for us. I think it's a good sign. And of course, the non-Muslims will say, "Oh, these guys are taking over." Whatever, you guys are not having babies, so what do you expect, right? So,
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
for China, I think something similar might happen as well, because they might not necessarily have Indonesians, but I think nowadays there's a lot more, I would say, diplomatic relations with the Middle Eastern countries, the Arab countries, more of them are going to China, and there's a lot of business going on there. And you can start to see some intermarriage, between the Muslims from the Middle East and with the Muslims in China and so on. So, yeah, I do think that might be a possibility of how the Muslim population in China would grow. But yeah,
I
I
like
think
that
it's already
actually. I
happening.
think that's more viable than what I said earlier. I think the quickest entry point for Muslims and Islamic civilization into the modern Chinese powerhouse is through trade. I think right now their main language is money, trade. So if you can first open up with them, trade relations, have their interests align heavily with yours, then maybe they can ease tensions on Muslims and ease tensions on dawah, and WeChat, where you can get your files.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. I think this is we can't really expect dawah, street dawah going on in mainland China right now. I don't think that's something that we should go forward. Like for example, in the West, like people do know, like, oh, you go to Speaker's Corner, you have these debates and so on. But I think that doesn't work. Neither in China nor in Taiwan. So, for example, in Taiwan, like, I think having any kind of events like street dawah doesn't really work with our people. It's just not in our culture. We just don't like to debate. We don't like to have any kind of conflict. So if we do want to kind of do some kind of outreach events, for example, I would do it right outside of our mosque. It's not like a street dawah, but it's more like an inviting table, like to let people know that, oh, okay, you guys can actually come to the mosque and we'll give you a tour. And if you want to discuss more, we can discuss more. But I'm not gonna have a debate with you and like long conversation outside the masjid in a very crowded area. That's just not how it's operated. I think you can see a good example from Japan and Korea as well. I think these years you can see a big rise of the Muslim population in Japan. I think the situation in Taiwan is actually quite similar to what's happening in Japan with all these migrant workers. And how the rise of the local Muslims, the reverts and
What's
so on.
happening in Japan?
Japan is also has a rising population of Muslims, not only among the foreigners, but also there's a lot of reverts, converting to Islam as well. And I think I'm kind of lost with the stats, but I know that a few years before, maybe about like 3 or 5 years before, the Muslim population in Japan was actually lower than Taiwan. Their Muslim population was lower than the Muslim population in Taiwan a few years back. But I know that in the past couple of years, they have increased quite a lot, not only with the foreigners, but also with the locals.
SubhanAllah. Why do you think it is there is a rise of Islam in Japan?
First of all, I think there is a lot of the foreign workers, more and more foreign workers going and to work in Japan, because obviously Japan, I think it's even more accommodating to the foreigners than Taiwan, I would say. Like in Taiwan, for example, we're mainly having the Indonesians, but when it comes to blue collar workers, I think it's kind of still hard for Taiwan to accommodate foreigners from different countries around the world. I think Japan has a very, very diverse population of the foreign people, and especially among the Muslims. So that's why there is this kind of more exposure to Islam. But on the other hand, I do think that as a whole society, when this whole society is getting farther and farther away from religion, and people start to depression, the rates of depression and these kind of psychological disorders are happening. I mean, naturally, people will start to seek some kind of spiritual relief from religions, and that's what's happening in Taiwan as well. From these countries that sadly that have that have a high suicide rate. So, for example, Japan and Korea and Taiwan. When people have so much of these psychological disorder and spiritual crisis, existential crisis, they will start to look for a remedy or like kind of a solution from religions, and that's what we're kind of dealing in the masjid as well. Like a lot of times when people they say that they want to convert, a lot of times it does come from a spiritual aspect. Like it's not really because they did the research and they rationally now believe that Islam is truth, but more I found that Islam is more peaceful. Islam really matches what I believe, and therefore they choose Islam as their religion. So I think what's happening in Japan is very similar, and that's why I said that the growth of Japan is something that our Muslim community in Taiwan we can learn from as well, because we have so many things in common.
What's happening in Japan is a disaster, at least from what we hear. And I don't think U.S. media in any way is trying to attack Japan. Japan's a great ally of the United States. But what we hear in U.S. media is that, there's their men aren't men anymore. Their men are fat and lazy, sitting at home watching television, doing nothing. And I don't even want to get into the sexual acts and what they're doing there. And there's a lot of cheating. Apparently, there's like cheating culture in Japan. There's just there's a lack of there's a degradation of morals in that society to the point where people are committing suicide, like you're saying. So and it's crazy because it's coming with all of this technology and all of this great stuff. Everyone wants to go visit Japan, and the people there are dying and suffering. And the main reason is that they don't have Allah. They don't have God in general.
I completely agree, and I think when you compare these countries, I think we're facing a very similar phenomena, and it's just about the matter of seriousness, how serious it is, like in Japan and Korea, and it affects so many things. It affects. I think the biggest victim of all of this is family units, and
Yes.
families are broken apart. And when families are broken apart, the whole society collapses. When you don't have good role models as parents, when you don't have a good sense of what masculinity is, or what like femininity is, like what a man is supposed to do, what a woman is supposed to do, you start feeling that there's no need for a family, there's no need for marriages, there's no need to have kids. And when you don't have any kind of principles, moral principles, this whole society starts to degrade. And so yeah, when we talk about, for example, the low birth rates, I think this is only like a byproduct of the moral decline of the society, because whenever we talk about the issue of low birth rate in Taiwan, and the people not wanting to get married, people always put the blame on the economy, or like we're not uh, living comfortably, that the government is not really supportive. But I think even though there might be some kind of factors related to the government's governance and the support and so on, but I think the biggest factor has to come down to the society's own moral decline. Because for example, my own family, like my brothers, I mean, they work like everybody else, but they're still able to live a proper life with with while they're having kids. I mean, people kind of have this kind of fear that once you have kids, you're gonna be homeless, and you're gonna lose your house, you're gonna lose everything, and so on. Even though I need to point out that this might be factually true, because in our societies, like, the family ties are not as strong as, for example, when you compare to Saudi. Because my in-laws family are, they're living in Saudi, and you can really see that, for example, if a family member is facing, like, let's say, a financial crisis, or something very huge is going on, the other relatives, their siblings, they will all try to do something to support them. The family is going to be a support system. But in Taiwan, if, like, let's say somebody just got bankrupt, I mean, their family members maybe they're not going to do anything about it. So they do have a lot of things to risk for.
Why
You know,
is this beyond Taiwan as well, or just Taiwan that's like this culture?
I think in Japan, Korea, and Taiwan in general, I think we're all almost on the same page. Like,
Why? What's yeah.
so I think there's kind of a reaction against this idea that we need to be filial or good to our parents or to the elders, right? So for example, like in the traditional Chinese teaching, we always emphasize how we need to be respectful to our parents. We need to thank them for raising us and so on. So the new generation, especially like the Gen Z, what they're basically saying is that I didn't decide to be born in this world. You guys decided to have me. Why should I actually like pay you back or respect you back, right? So there's this kind of conflict. I mean, the parents or the elder generation, they're kind of expecting the new generation, to take care of them when they're old. And the new generation, they're refusing that. They're saying like, why is that an obligation in the first place? And so that's why I think families are falling apart. And I think the
You know, Imam Abdullah,
yeah.
I think you were absolutely right when you were talking about how this is happening all across Western societies. Anything that's touched by this capitalistic system, this selfish, independent system, because it just creates these greedy, over-sexualized people. Like when you look at non-Muslim Americans, when I look at their life, I have many friends that are non-Muslim Americans, and just the amount of cheating that goes on in their circles, the amount of just harsh drinking, violent situations that happen in their lives, it causes a situation where, like, well, why would you and the entire, if you don't have a God, there's no reason to really get married. I mean, that just means you could just keep having sexual relations for free. Why would you pay? Why would you put a dowry? Why would you put in the effort, the time, the money, the responsibility when you could just do it for free, right? So the entire interest infrastructure was removed just by removing God. By removing God, you removed family, you removed love, because there's no reason for you to love anymore. There's no reason for you to grow a family anymore. And that's why when, most beautiful thing that your spouse can do for you is love Allah, right? Because no longer are you their God, and you have to be there, the ever seeing, the ever knowing, to make sure that they're doing what they need to for you and for your family. You know that Allah's got you and they've got themselves because they love you for the sake of Allah. That's why it's the highest form of love, loving someone for the sake of Allah, because it's protective. It means they're not going to harm you. They're not going to rob you. They're not going to murder you. They're not going to cheat on you. They're not going to, all of these things go, hopefully, inshallah, away. And so I think that's why people are clamoring back to God again, you know?
Yeah, and sadly, this is such a huge problem that we're suffering, and we're losing trust within our families. And I just want to add one more point, which is that, just by the fact that most families, like in Taiwan, for example, we need to rely on Indonesian caregivers to take care of the parents already gives us a message that, uh, we are not really taking up the responsibility to. I mean, I'm not blaming people who are hiring the Indonesian caregivers, but I'm just saying that the situation kind of put us in a, well, we've been forced in a situation that we need these caregivers to take care of our parents, even though we do have the responsibility to take care of them, and have this kind of obligation and connection to our parents. And some of them, the caregivers, they're taking care of the children as well, even like, they have a newborn babies, and they're letting the caregivers to take care of their children, which, by the way, a lot of them, they're a little bit afraid that, how the caregivers will start teaching them, to speak Indonesian or praying, and so on. So I think that might be something that might happen to the new generation, that maybe they learn about Islam through these caregivers at home. Because, for example, in my own household, when I grew up, my parents also hired a Indonesian caregiver, and I kind of grew up with this kind of system in my family as well. Like, children knowing that there's an Indonesian Muslim in our household, taking care of
Mm,
us.
SubhanAllah. So why do you think that is then, that there's a specific rise that's quicker in Japan of Islam?
Mm, I do think that there has to be a little bit of elements in politics as well. I think when it comes to the sharing of international resources, because Japan naturally is it's already a powerful country that people go to, people do business in. For relatively when you compare that to Taiwan, just to give you like a comparison from my own experience. Like for example, when I used to live in Turkey or like in Belgium, when I say like I come from Taiwan, a lot of people don't even know where Taiwan is. They say what, Thailand? Right. So, but when you say like, oh, Japan, Korea, oh, they all know, oh yeah, yeah, Japan, Samsung, like Sony and so on, right? So of course, like in the past 1 or 2 decades, like people start to know about Taiwan, but still I know that in a lot of places around the world, people don't really know where Taiwan even is, right? So Japan, Korea, these are very, very powerful technological countries. So of course there are also a lot of diplomatic relations, resources that could be shared across, from different countries. So, for example, when you look at the mosque in Japan, in Tokyo, one of the biggest mosques in Japan, the Tokyo Jami, it was like even till now, it's still being managed by the Ministry of the Religious Affairs, the Diyanet, right? So even the imam there, he's a Turkish and he speaks Turkish in his khutbah. He speaks the Japanese and English and Arabic and so on. So like that kind of resource really plays a big role. And I think for example, even we in Taiwan, I think that if we were to have something like very, very similar, it would really help in stabilizing our community there. Yeah, that's the one, the Tokyo Jami.
Wow, subhanAllah, this is beautiful. And the Turkish government built this?
I think they rebuilt it. At the very beginning, I think it wasn't by the Turkish, but later on, the Turkish government, they sponsored
Yeah.
in rebuilding it.
Just for anyone listening to us, we're sharing it on the screen right now. This is the largest mosque in Japan, masjid. Yep. The thumbnail says so. 2026, man. Yeah, I mean, Japan is honestly a fascinating place, and it's again top 5 for me. I definitely want to go visit Japan. Um, and one of the reasons is because anyone who's been listening to me for a while, listening to the show for a while, knows how much I love anime. And one of the qualms that I have with some of the people in the Muslim community is they're kind of anime haters. A lot of them actually are anime haters. Like I can't get over how they sound. It's a little exaggerated sometimes. I get it, but no, I think the story writing is phenomenal. But yeah, I remember once that I was in this khutbah, and this khatib, who ironically sounded flamboyant and was Lebanese, went on like a 30-minute tangent about how anime is gay and makes kids gay. And I was like, okay, I get talking about how, anime shows a lot of skin and that's not necessary at all. And it never adds to the storyline other than to help those dudes that are in those basements with those crumbs. Um, but I think that Eastern storytelling, like what I was telling you behind camera, um, I think that Eastern storytelling is phenomenal and above Western storytelling. Like, one of the things that bothers me a lot about how the Western movies and shows depict characters is how dehumanizing it is without you even realizing. Like, one moment they will kill a character that you've seen from possibly a couple episodes or at least 30 minutes into a movie, and the next scene they're making like comedic relief, what they call, right? They're trying to make a joke like, oh well, that was awkward, and then the crowd ha ha ha, and you're just like, what? I remember I was watching that 70s show, and Ashton Kutcher and all of them were up on like this water tower, and they were with this kid who was with us for like half of an episode. That 70s show is a popular TV show in the United States, and they accidentally cause something that makes this kid fall off the water tower. And it's just like they're dead silent for a moment, and then the scene ends, and the next scene, it's comedic relief. And I was like, that is so evil. I mean, over and over again, even when I was watching like this kids movie, I love watching kids movies, and I'm watching one right now, I'm forgetting its name, but they crushed this animal, this cartoon, so easily in this kids movie without any remorse and without even recognize like saying that, hey, this animal just got killed, this being just got killed. One of the things that I love about, Japanese writing, anime, Eastern writing in general, even Arab writing, is that it shows the emotion of the character. The character, you will watch their development, you will see their memories, you will hear their cries. Like you hear it all. And I love that. And if a being dies in the show, it is recognized. I don't know if you geek out about anime the way that I do, but um, where do you think we are with storytelling and anime, and as an imam dealing with now people in Asia that see you as someone that they can look to? What do you say to them about anime?
Okay, so I think one of the reasons why people can actually resonate with anime, and I think you actually pointed it out, that it does kind of have a sort of, moral principle. And even though they might not admit that they would disconnect this from, any kind of religious thinking, but I mean, traditionally, historically speaking, they have been influenced by their own religious ideology, so they do have a principle at least. Unlike in the West, maybe they don't even have anything to, at most maybe even to Christianity, but they don't really have a base to look for. But Japan, it has its own religion, the Shinto religion, and there's also it might even take some reference from the Chinese history, like Confucianism or these kind of religions, which I do believe that at some point in history there must have been some prophets in Islam that brought these ideas, and it kind of got spread throughout history, and they still kind of hold on to some elements of that. So when these kind of principles, these kind of values are being presented, like for example through a format of anime, then yeah, we would feel resonated. And I do believe that for example, if we as Muslims, we do want to have similar kind of storytelling, we need to have some form of anime in our format as well. I mean, for example, you do see like the dais in Japan, they would actually create some kind of small animations that look like the typical anime, but they're trying to spread the message of Islam, right? You have to kind of use their format to play with them. And different cultures, I would say, consume anime a bit differently. So for example, Taiwan, the Taiwanese society actually is highly influenced by anime and manga, I would say. And the way that we consume is a little bit different, I think, from for example in the West. Because for example, from my personal experience, I think the Taiwanese people like to read a lot. So a lot of times we don't actually enjoy the animation, the videos and so on, but we actually like to read the mangas, right? So even if we don't read the manga, we might read the novels which are the same story about the anime, but they will read that in the novel format or the manga format. And you can even see, like for example, in social media, the I don't know, you probably use threads as well, like from Meta. There's Facebook, Instagram, and there's threads. Right now, the number one user base of threads is Taiwanese people. Like there are many users who are on threads from different countries, and Taiwanese people is actually number one on threads right now. And you could see, the habits of writing a lot and reading a lot. They don't actually like to film, short videos, reels, showing their face and speaking to people. What I'm doing actually is quite abnormal, compared to the standards of the Taiwanese people. Like people like to write and people like to read a lot. And so for me, that's why I didn't grow up in Taiwan. So for me, I don't I feel really tired, like writing a lot and reading all these words. But for the general public in Taiwan, they like to consume through reading and writing. I think that's something quite different. And yeah, I think it's something that we can resonate to. Like Taiwan has historically been colonized by Japan before, so we do have some kind of influence in our culture by Japan too. So that's why like it's very common. It's very common for an average Taiwanese to consume. It's just not in the video
Yeah, I mean,
format.
it's very common for everyone. I mean, Japan showed the world that it's not just America that gets to control global media, that anyone who makes good media, even in their language, can thrive and succeed. I mean, obviously, anime is in Japanese for the most part, right? Unless you're on sub. But I think everyone is obviously, yeah, everyone is being impacted by anime. And I don't know if you saw in the last like year or two, there was like 2 to 3 uprisings. I think one in Indonesia, one in Bangladesh, and one in what was the other one? Nepal, I believe, where they were heavily like they were throwing around like Jolly Roger flags, the One Piece flags, and it was a symbol for their uprising. It was they were youth-led revolutions in these countries, in Asian countries, and I think that's very impactful, and people need to take that seriously. People need to see how that resonates, and it's because of the storytelling. It's because of the the message, the principles, the values, right? But the only critique I have of anime is that the values are always around friendship. Like friendship is the number one relationship. And where I think Muslims could really come in, obviously outside of just covering up the woman in animes, is and the men, is changing that. Like the number one value should be family, not friendship. So stuff like that, like where we can have an impact and create our own shows, inshallah.
Inshallah, yeah, definitely. I do think that we need to kind of move forward, and create these kind of contents. I mean, wrap these messages and do the storytelling in a way that can appeal to people. And you know, I think this is really tied to the culture as well, because as I always emphasize, Allah tells us in the Quran, وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَا مِن رَسُولٍ إِلَّا بِلِسَانِ قَوْمِهِ لِيُبَيِّنَ لَهُمْ. That Allah always sent the prophets from the people of their own tribe, and to convey the message in the best way possible. So whichever country works for you. Like I mean, like for example, in Japan, people are already used to this kind of format. In Taiwan, we are used to this kind of format. I think whichever format of the messaging appeals to the people there more, people should take advantage of that rather than just dismissing it completely and saying, this is not the way we do. This is not part of Islam. But you do need to consider the urf, the local culture. How do people perceive this kind of message? Because the way that you perceive anime in your Muslim community, I can like almost guarantee you that it's completely different than how people perceive like in East or in Japan and Taiwan. So people should take advantage of that.
Here at the Ansari Podcast, we have built a place where ideas and thoughts are explored deeply. But the truth is, we can't do this alone. The Ansari team needs your help to sustain the show we have now and to take it to the next level to compete with mainstream media and beyond. We need the Ummah to invest in itself. Join us on our website or our Patreon. It makes all the difference. Thank you guys, and enjoy the show. Now, I know we just almost talked about this, but let me put it in a broader sense. Are Muslims like, is there actually a genocide in China, or is this propaganda? Because we're hearing both in the United States. We're hearing it's propaganda, there is no genocide in China for Muslims, and then we're also hearing it is actually happening.
So usually when people talk about the genocide, I think they would refer to what the government is doing to the Uyghurs. And I think, personally, I would say that maybe I'm not, the best person to ask for. I think maybe you do have, some other guests, or especially the Uyghurs themselves. I think they can better explain about this. But what I want to actually emphasize more is what the government is doing to the Huis as well. because people don't usually focus on that. And I think that's, you know what, I think China is actually very, very smart. And I think, you know, for example, you know, how the US and the Israel, they're very stupid. Like if they want to oppress the Muslims, like they just do it immediately. Like they do it on the camera and you can see it with 4K quality, and people can actually see the oppression that they're doing to the Muslims. But China is very smart. Like they're doing it in a way that you're slowly losing yourself gradually without you even realizing it. They're doing it in a very slow and gradual manner. I have to kind of say, like, for example, I used to play ping pong a lot. I used to be a professional ping pong player. I feel that, you know, even the way that the Chinese people are playing ping pong is very different than the Taiwanese. Like, for example, like the Taiwanese, we just want to win as quick as possible, want to play as quick as possible. China plays this very stably. Like Chinese players are like, you know, I want to stay as stable as possible. I want to gradually win this thing. I think what the government is doing is all basically the same thing. Like, you know, for example, I think the younger generation in China, the Muslim younger generation, is at the very, very high risk of losing their identity. Not in terms of their culture, you know, the food, or, you know, the dancing, or the caps. Actually, I'm not worried about that. They are using those as a tool to prove that, hey, you guys are living very well. You're able to have your mosques. You're able to wear these Muslim clothes. You are able to eat halal food. But what about the education? What about academy? What about scholarship? What about the preservation of the deen? For me, I think that's something that I would care more. I wouldn't really care about, you know, how the culture or the food has been preserved. For me, of course, these are nice to have. Like, it's good to see, you know, Muslims having their own cuisines and their restaurants. But how about, you know, the learning part, the knowledge part? Because I think it's quite ironic that I often get invited to speak almost on behalf of the Chinese people. But I think it would have been you know, more justice if you can actually invite, you know, Chinese Muslims who speak for themselves. But in reality, it's hard. It's almost impossible. Why? Because I personally know many Chinese Hui Muslims. Many of them are inside the mainland. Many of them, they're outside of mainland. But even though they want to do dawah, they want to spread the knowledge of Islam, but they are afraid of their own selves, and they're afraid that something might happen to themselves or to their own families, because they either still hold a Chinese passport, or they have to go back to their hometown, or they have families who are still living there. So that's why they're not really able to show up their presence as a Muslim and educating people like very normally online. And that is why it's so hard to actually learn about Islam from Muslims themselves. When people are saying, you should go to, you know, the Chinese social media, like you go to WeChat or their Douyin, which is their version of TikTok and so on. You should be able to see like Muslims there. But in reality, even if you go to the Chinese social media, you're still not going to find Chinese Muslims who talk about Islam from their perspectives, because it's something that the government is trying to secretly oppress the people. So in the end, Islam is almost just packaged as, you know, a way of life that people, they do pray, they eat halal food, they wear, you know, Muslim costumes, but almost as if, you know, they don't know how to think, or they're not really trying to show people what is the truth. And that is what we are doing, you know, outside of China. Like, as somebody in Taiwan who has the freedom and the ability to do this, I feel the responsibility to speak on behalf of my Chinese Muslim brothers and sisters, because they don't have the ability to do that. And I completely understand that, because I've met so many very, very knowledgeable scholars and speakers, but they're just not able to show in front of the public. I know there are many scholars in China. They used to be very, very active, like, you know, 10 years ago. But nowadays, they have to do those speeches like in a private setting. And they always have to emphasize that, please do not upload this speech onto the internet. If you want to record, only record in an MP3 format. Do not, like, you know, actually film in a video. And that's what we're doing on WeChat. You know, recently, for example, I just created a WeChat group to teach on the fiqh of salah, on how to pray. And basically what the people are reminding themselves to be a bit cautious. Because first of all, I'm a Taiwanese, and second of all, they're learning about Islam. And I tried to upload some files on the WeChat group, and it immediately got blocked because it detected that there's some kind of religious contents inside, and they're not able to open it. I had to ask the people, did you guys receive the file? They say, what file are you talking about? So you can feel that it's such a hard thing for the Muslims in China to even get to access the basic authentic Islamic knowledge. They're not really able to do that openly. The best way they can do is to use WeChat, which is like WhatsApp for us. And that's basically how most of them learn about Islam.
Okay, I see. I mean, this is why, there's a lot of people that are preying on the West's downfall, preying on America's downfall that are Muslim. And the question then becomes like, I mean, do we really prefer China? There's a lot of people that are saying they would prefer an international order or a world order that's with China at the helm, at the head of it. But I'm just sitting there going like, well, not to quote the Americans, but they sound like a bunch of godless communists. I would rather a Christian, or dare I even say a Jew, over a godless communist, an atheist. Is that a right way to think about it? I mean, the thing that comes up to me also is that I felt like when I looked at most of Muslim history, Islamic history, we were number one, number two, minimum. It was basically number one and number two. I don't think we ever got to number three strictly for like 1,000 years. And in that time, honestly, China was number one and number two as well. But they kind of let us run the international order, the international stage, while they became an economic hub, an economic powerhouse, and were kind of secretly number one. But they didn't care to expand. They didn't care to expand their, Chinese agenda anywhere. So Muslims continued to be in control of the international order. And then obviously Westerners came in. Now, the thing that I think America is doing a mistake in is that it's preemptively attacking China almost. It's poking China, and China's natural state seems to be internal affairs. It doesn't seem to be interested in expanding outwards. So what the United States is doing was almost like self-detrimental, self-inflicting, self-harming, because China wouldn't have done anything anyways. So I'm kind of stuck between that, where it's like, okay, I feel China naturally is an isolationist state, which means it doesn't really try to expand and conquer others. But I also fear a rise of China where, it's just godless communism all across the world.
Mhm. I completely understand that. And I do believe that, when facing like an enemy like Israel and the United States, there has to be, a confronting power that, doesn't let them do whatever they want to do. So I think in that case, I do believe that China's existence is almost like, a must to go against this power. But at the same time, I think we as a Muslim community, we need to be mature enough to not get stuck by the nationalism ideology that, if you're with the US, then you're against China. If you're with China, you're against the US. I mean, we all have to try to think first and foremost, prioritize our own Muslim community, our own Muslim ummah, to think about the welfare and to actually understand what's going on, what's happening with our own community. Because I mean, a lot of people, when they're describing how is the life of the Muslims in China, all they say is, oh, they're living a nice life, they're living a good life. I mean, what do you mean what do you mean a good life? Do you mean a materialistic good life, or do you mean a life that they're happy to actually preserve their deen and pass down to the next generation, and they're spiritually alive? For me, that's what good means. Because even if you're living in a poor society, or maybe you're not really economically very well, but at least you do have Islam running down in your community, in your families. For me, that is good, but it can be better, with the economy. But if you're living a luxurious life and, with all these technologies and so on, but you're losing your identity as a Muslim, for me, that's a failure. That's not good at all. So I can't really, say we should just stand with China or just stand with the US alone. I think that's not really for me to give an analysis on, but the mission that I'm trying to do is to kind of make people reflect and think about how are the people actually living, and is it like really I just really want to show people that it's not like a utopia. It's not like, China is like making the Muslims live, a perfect life. They're doing whatever they want. No, they're not doing whatever they want. I mean, they can practice prayers. They can go to Hajj. They can fast. They can pay the zakat.
They can't go to Hajj?
They can go to Hajj. And
I didn't know that.
last year I went to Hajj last year, and I've seen quite many. But of course there are some things to that as well, because all the Hujjaj that you'll see from China, they're mostly elders, like at least over 60 years old. And of course, a lot of the Hui Muslims, they've told me that they're complaining a lot about how the government is making very, very hard for the Muslims there to go to Hajj. Even if you're old, you still have to do a lot of health checkups and so on. So it's a little bit difficult for the Chinese Muslims. Yeah, but anyways, I think in terms of practicing the five pillars of Islam for the Hui Muslims, I don't think there's any problem in most part of China, even in, let's say, Xinjiang, because Xinjiang, I mean, people know that the Uyghurs are living there, but actually there's a big population of Hui Muslims who are living in Xinjiang as well. But when you compare to the Uyghurs, of course, the Uyghurs, maybe they don't have that much freedom when it comes to prayer. Like you can see, like for example, in Eid al-Adha, you don't see any congregation in the Uyghur community who are praying, the Salat al-Eid all together. But for the Huis, there's no problem in that.
Imam Abdullah, that's all the questions that I have for you. Do you have any final thoughts before we head off?
Yeah, maybe those who follow me, they would know that I've created a few projects on my own. So first, after I came back to Taiwan, I started with the project of Islam Taiwan, which is basically an online platform, a website, which people can kind of find Islamic resources to learn and to educate themselves in. And it's still working on. It's still working on like you can find them on the web on the internet, and people still use it. And I do believe that it's one of the, if not the most popular Islamic website in the Chinese language, because people around the world are using it. Like not only people in Taiwan, but people in Singapore, in the US, and Canada. The Chinese speaking people who are outside of China, they're all using my website to read the Quran, to read the tafsir, and to learn about the fundamentals of Islam. So that's something that I've established right after I came back to Taiwan from Turkey. And the other project that I started last year was Azwaja Match, which is a matchmaking platform. Even though it's available globally, like people from anywhere can sign up to, but I'm primarily focusing on the East Asian community. So of course, my own community in Taiwan, also people in China, in Southeast Asia as well, Indonesia, Malaysia. So I'm trying to get people married, yeah, because we're in a marriage crisis nowadays. Even the Muslims are affected by that. A lot of the youth in Taiwan, the Muslims, are afraid of getting married, and they don't really have a standard or systemized way to actually get to know somebody else for marriage. So I just want to create that kind of platform, make it a bit easier to find a spouse in a halal and legal manner. But of course, the way that it works is also a little bit different than the other apps that you might find in the market, like Moose or the others. So for example, it's a matchmaking app, so it's not like a swiping system. You don't see people's profiles and you swipe right and left. We'll actually do the work for you. We'll analyze the profiles and we'll like send you the profiles. We matchmake you together, and if both parties decide that, okay, I think this person is nice, then we put them in a group and we'll assign a third person inside, right? Like people might feel, oh, I don't feel comfortable with a third person, but we just need to make sure that they are not talking alone and they're not in a segregated manner, right? So that's something I think a little bit different than how the other apps work. We always assign and make sure that there is a third person with good character, of course, to make sure that the conversation is going well. And the third project, which I'm about to start, is this thing. Like I'm selling Chinese traditional cloth to. I'm gonna ship it, inshallah, to different parts of the world.
Oh, mashallah. Can I see it? Do you mind
Yeah, of
if you?
course.
Oh, oh, man. What,
This
how long's the shirt? Where does it go till?
uh, well, let me stand up a little bit. So
Yeah, man. Let me check it
yeah,
out.
it's not too long,
Mm.
but yeah, enough to cover maybe just a little bit below the pants as well. So almost
Oh
like a
man,
small
I would
jacket.
love
Yeah,
me one of those. I am so down for one of those.
yeah.
Where
I
can I get
always
one?
uh I will release the website, and then you can basically order from the website directly. But right now I'm still preparing it. So otherwise you have to travel to Taiwan to buy it in a physical store.
Very cool, mashallah,
Yeah,
mashallah.
because I usually wear this for my khutbah. I mean, I rarely wear, an Arab thobe. I even wore like, the Indian kurta before. I wear the Indonesian, Malaysian ones. But I always wear this one, like most of the time. If you see me doing khutbah in masjid, like 90% of the time I will be wearing this.
Yeah, that's incredible, man. I'd love to check those out. I mean, just let me know when it's out, and I'll definitely check it out, inshallah.
Inshallah.
Imam Abdullah Cheng, thank you so much for joining the Ansari podcast. It was a pleasure to have you on. It was as great as I thought it would be. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jazakallah khairan. Like I really enjoy your shows. I've been listening to your podcast quite a while ago, since quite a while ago. So I never ever expected myself to be on the show. So thank you so much.
Oh, very cool. I didn't know that. Thank you. That's an honor. And thank you guys for listening to the Ansari podcast.